One of the Chicago area's most notorious unsolved crimes. 5 women were shot and killed inside the Lane Bryant in Tinley Park in 2008. But police have not made any arrests in the case.
When police arrive at the store, they think they're interrupting a robbery in progress and make a gruesome discovery. 6 women lined up in a row, bound with duct tape. 5 of them had been murdered. One of them was screaming for help.
Every crime tells a story. Some find justice, while others only leave whispers in the dark, wounds that never heal, and questions that remain unanswered. Welcome to Shades of Crime. Today we'll shine light on the unsolved case of 6 courageous women. Rhoda McFarland, Connie Woolfolk, Jennifer Bishop, Carrie Kioso, Sarah Szafranski, and one surviving victim whose name remains private, but whose strength speaks volumes. Located about 30 miles south of Chicago, Illinois, Tinley Park is one of the fastest growing suburbs in the metro area. Often described as a peaceful slice of Midwestern America, the village is known for its rich history and tight-knit community. Tinley Park blends small-town charm with modern appeal, featuring scenic nature preserves, family-owned shops, and notable landmarks like the historic Oak Park Avenue train station, the oldest still operating train station in the United States. It's also home to one of the world's largest St. Patrick's Day parades and the historic landmark Chapel Museum. With its proximity to 4 major interstates, many refer to it as the crossroads of the Midwest. Born January 10, 1966 in Joliet, Illinois, Rhoda McFarland was the store manager at Lane Bryant in Tinley Park, Illinois. Newly engaged, Rhoda was a proud U.S. Air Force veteran, an ordained minister, and a devoted mentor to young girls. A few years prior, she had launched Princess Unveiled, a program dedicated to teaching etiquette and empowering young girls to grow into confident, productive women. Those who knew Rhoda described her as a hopeful, prayerful woman with a heart for service and an unwavering passion for uplifting others. Rhoda was a great person. She'd do anything for you, her brother shared. She had a glowing personality and a great laugh, he fondly remembered. Her legacy lives on through the many lives she touched. On Saturday, February 2, 2008, Rhoda came into work on her off day, as she often did, simply to help out. Rhoda was 42 years old. She is lovingly remembered by her mother, father, brothers, sister, fiancé, and a devoted circle of family and friends. Connie Woolfolk of Flossmoor, Illinois, born on August 4, 1970. A devoted single mother of 2 sons, Connie was known for her strength, ambition, and love for her family and community. With a background in finance, she and her mother had recently launched a mortgage company, working towards bringing economic development to the Park Forest area. At the time, she was also employed at the Target located in the same shopping center as the Lane Bryant. Connie's unwavering dedication to her loved ones and her entrepreneurial spirit left a lasting impression on everyone who knew her. People will remember her by her smile and her personality, a former employer recalled. Her family and friends described her as a beautiful person, a great mother, just a great person in general. A close friend added, she was a true believer. Some of the things we shared were our faith and our belief in God. On Saturday, February 2nd, 2008, Connie was at the Lane Bryant store shopping for a new outfit, looking forward to a rare night out with friends. She was 37 years old. She left behind her children, mother, brother, and a host of family and friends who continue to cherish her memory. Born on January 29, 1974, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Jennifer Bishop was a devoted wife and loving mother of 3, her youngest only being 6 months old at the time. Jennifer's world was devoted around her family. Her children were her life, those who knew her said, describing her as a beacon of kindness and unwavering dedication. She was my best friend. We laughed all the time, Jennifer's sister recalled. She brought joy not only to her children, but to everyone around her. Jennifer and her family were living in South Bend, Indiana, where she worked at Memorial Hospital as an intensive care nurse. She had recently been promoted to a charge nurse, a role that reflected her skills, compassion, and leadership. Her colleagues described her as caring, knowledgeable, and efficient, someone who could be counted on in a moment of crisis. On Saturday, February 2, 2008, Jennifer accompanied her husband to Tinley Park, where he was attending a business conference. While he was occupied, she decided to visit the Tinley Park shopping center and stopped into the Lane Bryant store. She was 34 years old. She left behind her husband, children, parents, sister, brother, in-laws, and a loving circle of family and friends who continue to honor her memory. Carrie Kioso of Frankfort, Illinois, was born January 12, 1975. A loving wife, Carrie and her husband were married on June 10, 2006, less than 2 years at the time. They were planning to start a family. From the first time I met her, it was her smile that captivated me, her husband tearfully recalled. She made me want to be a better person. I'm just lost. Carrie was described as the life of any party, an outgoing, outspoken woman who lit up every room she walked into, living each day with a palpable joy. Carrie was very giving, a co-worker shared. Her family echoed those words, remembering her generous heart. Carrie worked as a social worker at Homewood Flossmoor High School, her beloved alma mater. It was a job she deeply cherished, her husband said. It brought her immense joy and fulfillment. Carrie dedicated her career to counseling teenagers and served as the coach of the girls' golf team. On Saturday, February 2, 2008, Carrie was out shopping for gifts in preparation for an upcoming trip to Chicago. While her husband stayed home waiting for a home installation, she called to let him know she would be stopping by the bank and then heading to Lane Bryant to pick up a shawl for their day in the city. She was 33 years old. She left behind her husband, parents, brother, in-laws, and a host of loving family and friends who continue to carry her light in their hearts. Sarah Szafranski of Oak Forest, Illinois, was born May 26, 1985. She was the eldest of 3 siblings, a recent graduate with a finance degree from Northern Illinois University. Sarah was full of promise and excitement for her future. She was a doll, a sweetheart, a family friend recalled. Her family added, Sarah was loved by all who knew her, and we're counting on that love to sustain us as we mourn. On Saturday, February 2, 2008, Sarah went shopping at Lane Bryant, searching for the perfect outfit at her first job at a financial firm. an opportunity she had eagerly been anticipating. She was 22 years old. She leaves behind her parents, brother, sister, grandparents, partner, and a loving community of family and friends who continue to cherish her memory. On Saturday morning, February 2, 2008, the Lane Bryant clothing store at 191st in Harlem, located in Tinley Park, Brookside Marketplace, just off of Interstate 80, opened its doors at 10 a.m. Inside were two employees, Rhoda McFarland, the store manager, and a 33-year-old nursing student who worked part-time on weekends. That day, the store was running a sale. So shortly after opening, two female customers walked in to shop. Just moments later, a tall, husky black man entered the store, holding paperwork and claiming to be a delivery man. Since the store didn't usually receive deliveries on Saturday, Rhonda called nearby Lane Bryant locations to see if any drop-offs were expected. As she and the other employee watched the man, they noticed him glancing around, almost as if he was scoping out the store. After a few minutes, Rhonda and the other employee grew uneasy. Something about the man felt off. It became clear he wasn't there to make a delivery. Roughly 15 minutes after entering the store, the man pulled out a handgun and announced a robbery. He ordered the two employees and the two customers into a back room. Using the duct tape he brought with him, he bound their hands and feet, then forced them to lie face down on the floor.
Lifelike. Now, whoever that man is entered a Tinley Park Lane Bryant and announced a robbery. He ordered a group of women into a back room, tied them up with duct tape.
As the robbery unfolded, two more women entered the store. They too were ambushed and taken to the back. One of them, being Connie Woolfolk, fought back. During the struggle, the suspect struck her in the head with the gun, also leaving visible bruises and scratches. He then restrained the other two women, using underwear from the store merchandise to cover their heads. While the 6 women lay bound, the assailant fondled one of them. He stole approximately $200 from the cash register, then rummaged through their purses, taking jewelry and other unknown items. At one point, the suspect left the back room, likely searching for more valuables or potential victims. In a moment of courage and quick thinking, Rhoda McFarland managed to free her hands. At approximately 10:44 a.m., she used her Bluetooth headset to make a quick 911 call. Barely whispering, she gave the store's location and pleaded, "Hurry." Moments later, the call went silent.
911 emergency. Where at? Tinley Park. Hurry. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Let me get you to Tinley Park. Don't hang up.
The caller is Rhoda McFarland, the store manager, pleading for help.
The suspect had returned and called her on the phone. That emergency call would later capture a chilling moment. A few seconds of the suspect's voice, including what's believed to be him saying, "I'm losing it."
911 emergency.
Police stated they have not released the full audio of the 911 call. The suspect would then proceed to shoot all 6 women in the head, execution style. A Tinley Park police officer, just a few hundred yards away, responded almost immediately. He arrived at the scene at 10:46 a.m., just 2 minutes after the 911 call. With his weapons drawn, he entered the store, but it was too late. The gunman was gone. In the back room of the store, the officer would make a gruesome discovery. He would find 6 women bound and face down. 5 were unalived. 1 had survived. It was later revealed that the part-time employee, the only survivor, had turned her head at the very last second, just as the gunman was pulling the trigger. The bullet grazed only her neck instead. She would lay still, pretending to be unalived, and waited in silence until help arrived. Her survival was key to understanding what happened inside those walls. For her safety, her identity was never released. She received medical treatment and placed under protective custody. Because the store didn't have surveillance cameras, investigators worked closely with her to gather every detail.
It's something that I think about almost daily. You know, when you come into this area, you can't forget something like this.
Pat Carr was Tinley Park's Director of Emergency Management on February 2nd, 2008, the day 5 women were shot and killed inside the Lane Bryant store here at 191st and Harlem.
Surreal. It was cold. We had a lot of people
McFarland was the store manager at Lane Bryant. Connie Woolfolk, Sarah Szafranski, Carrie Chiuso, and Jennifer Bishop were customers. All 5 were shot to death during the robbery.
It never leaves my mind.
Steve Klotz is the Tinley Park fire chief. In 2008, he was the assistant fire chief. He remembers arriving at the scene with paramedics and learning all 5 women were dead at the scene.
With the initial impact was you want to try to help. That's our number one goal. And
a 6th woman, a store employee, survived. She was able to give police a description of the suspect.
She described the suspect as a black male, medium to dark complexion, standing about 6 feet to 6 feet 2 inches. He had a husky build between 230 pounds and 260 pounds, with broad shoulders. He was well groomed. He wore a charcoal gray knit cap, thin enough to reveal thick braided cornrows with a receding hairline. One braid hung down the side of his right cheek, decorated with light green beads. He was wearing a waist-length black winter coat and black jeans with embroidery on the back pockets. The victim estimated him to be between 25 to 35 years old at the time.
Do you believe this perpetrator meant to kill all 6 women?
Yes, he did not want to leave a witness.
But he did, and that witness is vital because she helped cops create this composite sketch.
The suspect spent about 40 minutes inside the store. In that time, he robbed, sexual assaulted, injured 1 victim, executed 5 victims, and disappeared without a trace. The search for the suspect would stretch on for hours. Police conducted a wide-scale ground search, aided by helicopters scanning the surrounding area from above. Investigators collected surveillance footage from nearby businesses, combing through it for any trace of the assailant. A nearby retention pond was even searched in hopes of locating the weapon. At the crime scene, bullets and shell casings were recovered. Investigators also examined a shoe print left behind and collected fingerprints, possibly belonging to the suspect. It's speculated that the DNA evidence believed to be from the suspect was also collected. However, it remains unclear or exactly how the sample was obtained. Officials have not released any further details about the specific evidence that was collected. 9 days after the massacre, on February 11, 2008, the Tinley Park Police Department released a composite sketch of the suspect. Then on February 2, 2018, the 10th anniversary of the tragic event, a new computer-generated 3D rendering sketch of the suspect was released.
Vanished. Saturday, police released a sketch of the suspect based on a description given by the sole survivor of the attack. Authorities say he is an African-American male who is thought to be between 5'9" and 6 feet tall. They also think he weighs roughly 200 pounds and has thick braided hair and a receding hairline.
Aaron, well, I just spoke with Tinley Park's police chief. He tells me this sketch was released on the eve of the anniversary on purpose. Here, the new 3D image is now hanging inside the police station and it's broadcast everywhere. It is an enhanced version of a previous sketch drawn from an eyewitness account in 2008. The new photo uses facial identification technology to make it more lifelike.
Surveillance footage from a nearby Target store in Brookside Marketplace was also obtained. Though the original footage was blurry, it was later enhanced by NASA imaging expert Dr. David Hathaway.
David Hathaway invented a method of enhancing videotape to get clearer images from space. He also uses it to help law enforcement pry clues from surveillance video.
So that looks to me like some sort of dark-colored
It's like a SUV.
minivan or SUV,
Yeah.
right in front of the store, right about the time that the killings would have happened. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely not there now. So anyway,
A second car on the tape that arrives shortly before the killings and leaves shortly after.
So these are the three critical images.
at 10:44, there's a car here in front of this SUV, and there's the back of a SUV or a van parked straight on into the store. A minute later, the car in front of this SUV is gone. The other van or SUV is still there. A minute after that, SUV or van that's parked straight on into the store, it's gone as well.
On March 19, 2008, the case was featured on America's Most Wanted.
Good evening. It started out as just another day in a popular clothing store, but it ended in a bloody massacre. Now, I'm sure somebody knows who killed 5 women in cold blood in that sleepy suburb outside of Chicago. But so far, that person has not come forward.
Over the years, detectives have followed up on thousands of leads, received countless tips, national attention, and investigated several potential suspects, and the case still remains unsolved. The Lane Bryant store would close for business, and the building would remain vacant until November 7, 2013, in which it was repurposed as TJ Maxx. In February of 2024, the Tinley Park residents and community activists came together to raise an additional $3,000 to add to the previous $100,000 reward for anyone that helps investigators make an arrest in this case. Tinley Park police officials stated they weren't releasing any new statements on this case, also stating the case is still being investigated. On February 2, 2008, over 17 years ago, the community of Tinley Park was forever changed. Although time has passed, the wounds haven't healed, the pain still remains, and there are many questions left unanswered. What began as an ordinary Saturday for 6 women became a tragedy that shattered families, shook faith, and stripped away a sense of safety. 5 lives were taken. 1 was forever altered. Could the person responsible be hiding in plain sight? Maybe in someone's memory, or even in someone's guilt. Someone knows what happened. These families deserve justice. If you have any information, no matter how small, you're encouraged to call the Tinley Park Police Department or Cook County Crime Stoppers. No story is forgotten. No voice should go unheard. Sending my deepest condolences and prayers to the family and friends of Rhoda, Connie, Carrie, Jennifer, and Sarah. I pray that you get the justice that you deserve. Until next time, thank you for watching Shades of Crime. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to pray. God's listening.